going to look at taxation in Uganda and whether when you pay your taxes, you actually follow it up. Have you paid taxes? Do you think you're paying taxes?
Should you
and
pay
those
taxes?
of you who evade taxes, but ideally we're focusing on accountability of our taxes when the government takes it.
Emisolo tusasula mingi, but nze gwemmanyi gwensasula is VAT.
Right.
Directly or indirectly.
Right.
Oyinza okugenda in a supermarket nebakutemako VAT. Totally like registered as you are an individual.
Right.
So I think tusasula omusolo mu ngeri yake.
Yes, sir.
We pay taxes, especially on goods that we consume. We pay them involuntary, not out of our will. But they are always charged on goods. And for salary people, we pay basically that they pay, and then the compulsory system of savings through the government, that is NSSF, which we pay around 10%.
Right.
15%. Yeah, 15 actually, the 10% is paid by the organization, then the individual pay 5%.
5%, right.
Sebo gwasasula omusolo.
I also pay NSSF, pay and VAT.
Should NSSF be categorized as tax? Or
it's a benefit. I don't think NSSF is really a tax. NSSF is basente so.
Well, there are obviously people who do not understand why it's important okusasula emisolo. Bulunaku pozi tujukira akayimba akedda atana musolo where people who are being literally those man-hunting. For our parents can give you stories of how they were looked for. And so,
under the bed.
Your parents sold you.
No, we had a neighbor. Okay, that's we used to stay in a slum area. So when the solo guys come, everyone just finds a place to hide under the bed, in the dustbin. Basically, we had places.
The taxes are not fair and just because you find people who are earning less paying as much as those who are earning more. For example, when you buy sugar, the minister will buy sugar. On sugar, there are taxes on it. They will pay the same amount of money. Like my grandmother in the village, when she buys sugar, she pays the same tax. Through VAT, the value-added tax, all of us pay the same amount of money. And also you find that the pay as you earn is also very high. You also find that companies don't pay as much as individuals.
We need to put money in a catalytic manner to trigger more making of money. Because if you put money in the railways, the country saves on all imports and exports. And we get more money to generate money for more roads and possibly to get money for defense. So the debate, where we need to take the debate currently, is that which priority areas of productivity with the high return on investment should government be putting money so that tomorrow we have more money. Agriculture is one sector where we have not yet put enough money because value addition in agriculture, agriculture mechanization, fertilizers in agriculture alone can more than double the GDP of this country. So we need to look at where do we put money, because to industrialize we have to first agro-process, we have to do agro-industry, we have to give inputs to farmers, we have to get money for term financing, long-term financing for agriculture. So the debate should be where the tax is going.
Today, what's happening is that we all assume that tax is an issue of URA, but we are all taxpayers. We need to engage in tax debates to make sure that the tax is just and fair. Then too, I think we all need to be aware that we are taxpayers. When you buy anything, be it water, be it a matchbox, you are taxpayer.
Our measure of where taxes are going starts from immunization, safe water in our villages, UPE, USE, roads. All these are accountabilities for their taxes where they are going. However, the challenge is that the taxes we have are not enough to meet the national need.
We have to follow our taxes because it's our money. We are the taxpayers, it's our money. So by following our taxes, we are following our money and we are making sure that our money is used properly.
We need to reintroduce an equivalent of a graduate tax. We need to make people contribute for their country, and then they will be able to demand in the same currency, in the same equivalent to demand for services. Sort of that, we are having a problem where people now think it is a favor from the president, it's a favor from government, it's a favor from a ministry, it's a favor from a district. Far from that. That is your money. So let's pay taxes, let's popularize taxes, but demand accountability in terms of services.
Olowooza lwaki olina okusasula omusolo se? Olowooza kibamu
kalungi kyakali kusasula omusolo?
Katuyambako okudeveloping our countries, e.g. infrastructures.
Right.
Like these roads, when kale kugamba ziba zononese, ziba ezo sente zetuba tusasudde ezo omusolo ziba zisobola kukola ki?
We don't have good infrastructure. Okay, look at our city. We have potholes. Museveni recently unveiled a 2 billion car. As in, really, that's our money. Where else does it come from? Those jets or military jets, that's our money.
But they are protecting us.
No, I do not think that's his priority.
Wow, okay, we'll go back to accountability.
I think in reality,
yes,
taxes are supposed to be helping us, development, infrastructure, health, because that's why you see sometimes when there are issues in parliament, and maybe some money has been embezzled, most times it's a taxpayers' money, and it was meant for some development issue. So in reality, that is really what is important for taxes. And it's also an incentive. It can be a disincentive and also an incentive. And they usually use tax also to regulate behavior. If you've heard that, sometimes if they want to regulate gambling in the country, they will tax gambling companies much higher.
And even
that
tax
is what
alcohol.
Even alcohol, even smoking companies that are in that kind of business. So it's sort of to regulate behavior. So it can be both incentive and disincentive in some cases. So the reality is it's important to have taxes, collect them and use them for development. But the challenge now comes when
do you think it makes sense for us to pay taxes if we are not, for example, she's sad that we are buying jets?
To be sincere, every country, down let it be in Africa or Europe, the defense ministry gets, I think, the biggest percentage of buying. That one is assured. You cannot say that we are not going to buy jets. That one is a must. Even the US itself, the defense ministry pays a lot of. Or they get a lot of funding from the government. But the bad thing is, it's one, there's a lot of corruption.
Okay, what would you want to see your tax do?
That's why it's nothing.
For example, I feel like the budget on State House is very high. And that is taxpayers' money. I wish that money could be transferred to Mulango Hospital. Sorry, for example. I am not against buying jets. I just think there are so many people on the streets, people who are unemployed. What should be our priority as a developing country, and not as a standard of the USA of, just showing off, or maybe,
What I think is important here, just to put this debate into perspective. I feel that at a personal level, when osasula omusolo, bukuyamba okukola, bukuyamba okusavinga, singa wali tosasula musolo, titofuna that urge okukola.
Explain that. How does paying tax help you save and urge you to work?
You have an earning. For example, you earn a salary. Ngosasula omusolo. Be it consumptive tax into VAT ngoguze ekintu. Gwengo omuntu nti you ofuna that urge okukola ennyo, making sure nti newe abatutteko ze batutteko ku musolo. By the end of the day, we'll not take home. You didn't have something to do. because you know that you're supposed to buy things and VAT is going and you have to pay a lot of taxes in form of pay. Tinawe ng'omuntu ogayala at a personal level nsubira nti omusolo mulungi naye nga bwe bagamba abasinga nti omusolo ogwaffe gwe tusasula olwaleero abantu bennyini tebagula bajegulaga kibaluma nange kinuma ku pothole oyo gwoyitamu
anti nkubulira gye tugulabira ku the 2 billion car yeah, the lifestyle they're having, the airplanes, the cars, those things.
Well, IMF resident representative in Uganda, Tishino Chagama, the taxation mechanism in Uganda is not fair. The poor are paying just like the rich.
Just the same. At the same. Women are the same matchbox. All buy the same bread.
Na yo mugaga akozesa gas.
Oh yeah.
Mugaga akozesa gas. Simani, where is the unfairness?
I think it's in a way that the structure is set up because it's so regressive, and the fact that the rich, I wouldn't want to say poor as such, but those who earn very little income, low income earners, are buying the same amount, they're buying the same products for the same amount of money, which means the VAT is the same. They're not saying that VAT for the rich is maybe 18 and then for the less income earners it's 10%. It's the same. So I think the argument the IMF chief was saying at that time is that really it needs to be balanced. That people who are earning much more, proportion to their income, the tax must be higher. And then those, because I remember I work for an organization called CIAT in Uganda, and we have these debates usually on taxation and governance. And I remember we met that IMF chief sometime, and he was saying these things of cutting taxes off, like on computers, on it's the rich who actually buy the computers. So it doesn't make sense at all. If you're going to cut a tax, you need to cut taxes off, diapers, food stuff,
right?
The formula, people who are earning very little income because the rich.
Let's say I'm sorry, iPad,
So that is the also important to note is that Uganda as a country, or sub-Saharan Africa, the rich-poor divide is very wide.
And
we have the minority rich and the majority poor. I think the majority poor should be given a chance because the minority rich are the ones in power, are the ones, the elites, are the ones who control. So they may not necessarily, most of them drive their push cars and do not come down on the ground.
They don't feel the
because a poor man's salary is not going to necessarily increase over. And yet the taxes keep on increasing.
Omwaka guno tugenda collecting about 7 trillion shillings. Ye target ya URA. Wanyagadde omusolo gukole ki? What would you like to see?
May I look at priority areas like health?
Yes.
These infrastructures like roads, then education.
Right.
Education, health and roads.
Yes.
Baba wakumaze. Have a nice
Yes, sir. We asked you on Facebook what you think. Hamim Ibn Swali Agamba, yes, taxes help us to manage our country financially, but it has been overcharged. Local people don't have enough. That this money lands on wrong people. Bashir Senyon Agamba, it's too much, but indirect, so it has a less burden.
Yet if he doesn't notice his pay. Corporate.
Good luck.
Good luck.